Hi, my name is Karen Betton and I am the owner and founder of Limitless Living. I'm giving you an extra newsletter video this month because I unfortunately was a little bit sick in the last week and had to reschedule one of my classes. So I wanted to give you, for the inconvenience of the rescheduling of that from last week to this week, a bonus video where we give you a little exercise, Franklin method exercise that helps to release the back and the hips and unlock the hips, right? A lot of us are combating that chronic position that we are finding ourselves in when we're driving a car or on our cell phone or typing on a computer, where shoulders are rounded forward, back is rounded, and pelvis is tilted, right? And all movements are really great for the body, but when we are engaging in one movement to the detriment of other movements, that's where our body, our physical body, starts to break down. And so I want to give you a tool that takes less than, really even less than a minute to help get you in utilizing all the different planes of motion available, releasing tension, and experiencing improved strength and flexibility in an area. So all you need are 2 Franklin balls. If you don't have balls, you can actually just do this with your hands. And what we're going to do is we're going to be tapping the lower back. What we're focusing on is the pelvis here. And the movement we want can be best understood if you imagine that the pelvis is a bowl of water, right? Imagine this whole area is just a big bowl of water. And you want to tilt the bowl forward and pour it out from the front of the bowl. And then you want to tilt the bowl backwards and pour the water out from the back of the bowl, right? And that's going to give you the anterior and posterior rotation movement that we often don't engage, right? We're usually either locked up in one or locked up in the other, depending on the position that we're sitting in or taking in for whatever it is that we are, doing in a day that involves our hands and our eyes and not actually physically moving the body. So you're going to start anterior and posterior rotating the pelvis. Then we're going to add lateral bend side to side, and then we're going to add rotation. So the first thing you're going to do, because this involves a little bit of multitasking, which is great for the brain, is just start tapping the lower back, right? So that lower back, and you can feel those sensations, that enlivening that's happening down there. And then you're going to start to add the anterior and posterior tilt of the pelvis as you allow the lumbar spine to follow it, right? Make sure your knees have a little bit of a bend in them and you're breathing. Nice. Now you're going to quickly just do a lateral bend, right? This doesn't need much time at all. Lateral bend as you're tapping, and then a rotation, right? As you're tapping. Drop the hands and notice for a moment, right? Maybe you feel that sort of increased energy and release in your lower back. You get this sensation, I feel almost as if I'm taller, and my shoulders feel as if they're able to drop more because they are tuning into more support from below, right? We're firing up those muscles. This is called proprioception, right? And we're sending information up to the brain that helps the brain navigate movement and utilize and coordinate all the different muscles that are involved in just even standing. So why is it that stretching is not always the most valuable technique to use, right? Anybody find that when they're stretching, sometimes it feels like it's about their mind versus their body, and you just feel like it's this fight? That's been an experience that I had, particularly in yoga. And so I have found techniques like this, proprioception, that actually enhance my flexibility and strength and enhance my yoga practice, particularly if I start off with tapping my body with balls in different spots that are highlighting areas that tend to not get moved. So psychologically, if you're a type person, stretching is you creating the experience of inflexibility, right? The minute you go and try to stretch, you're having the inflexibility experience. You're having exactly what you want to change. And that psychologically can be a little bit challenging versus doing what we've done in the other videos in this one, which is proprioception, where we're squeezing or tapping or stimulating the sensory fibers to send information up to the brain, which then instantaneously creates the experience of flexibility, the experience of improved coordination, the experience of improved strength, so much more, agility, you name it, it all helps. It improves mood, it improves outlook, it improves a general overall feeling of well-being in the body-mind. So thank you so much for joining us. If you're around April 28th, I had to reschedule my April 21st pelvic workshop. Know that the pelvis is such a powerful place to work, right? Because you can move your wrists, you can move your shoulders, and the rest of the body isn't affected. But anything that's going on in the pelvis or the hips, right? You move your pelvis, everything else has a different story to tell. So when we focus on improving movement in the pelvis, it can have a full body effect and change. I don't care if your injuries in your neck, your shoulder, your knees, your feet, they're all going to have a different story to tell when you improve the movement in your pelvis. So thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to talking to you next time.